Namaste and welcome to this episode of the Thursday Thoughts. Today we are going to discuss the second Grand Slam of the year in tennis, that is none other than the French Open 23. It's just a review or retrospect. In retrospect, we are going to discuss about it because there are more than one reasons for discussing this. First things first, French Open 23, Roland Garros 23 will be remembered as the 23rd, Grand Slam for the champion, now the number one. Of course, he was not the number one when the tournament started. In the first week, he was seeded 3 in the French Open, that is the Serbian Novak Djokovic. And now he is in the Mount Everest of tennis. He is the top of the world. He has won the 23 Grand Slam championship, which is not done by any other human being. Yes, no other tennis star has ever won. Earlier it was Rafael Nadal of Spain who held the record of 22 Grand Slams, and by winning the French Open 23, he has surpassed him. He has crossed that 22 and now he's in 23. He's the top of the world as regards to the men's tennis championship or men's Grand Slam number is concerned. He won it so comfortably. And if you remember, he's the guy who was not allowed to play in the Australian Open 2 years back when there was COVID all over the world and he refused to be vaccinated. But he now has got everything going for him, though he missed out on that particular Australian Open 2 years back. But now he holds the highest number of Grand Slam trophies in his closet. So we'll just discuss a few of the matches. I mean, it's difficult to remember all the matches, but let us first look at the men's semifinals between the Casper Ruud and Zverev. Zverev, as you know, might have seen the newspapers or reports that for me, he is also one more champion of French Open 23 because I came to know that he is, like me, of course, he is insulin-dependent diabetic from the age of 3. From childhood, he is taking insulin for his diabetes, and I can understand what all goes through a person when he takes insulin injections for diabetes. It is not a normal life. Though we look normal, it is definitely not normal. And the same thing happened in the semifinals when he was playing Casper Ruud. It was absolutely a rude shock for Zverev, the Olympic gold medalist in the previous Olympics, but he just was not there into the game. And it happens. It could happen to anyone, but more so if a diabetic, that to an insulin-dependent diabetic, is just not into the groove. He just can't get back into the groove. So he lost out in straight sets. That to the last final set was 6-love to Ruud. It was a rude shock, to tell you the least. So that is how Casper Ruud qualified to the finals for his first ever Grand Slam final. No, he was looking to win the first ever Grand Slam, though last year also he was a finalist in this particular ground of Roland Garros, that is French Open. So his opponent was, of course, and the other semi-final, men's semi-final, that also I wanted to speak a bit about it because that was the match that was expected to be the match of the men's tennis in the semi-finals. The number one seed, Carlos Alcaraz of Spain, who was the current number one, he was playing at the Serbian seeded 3, Novak Djokovic. So it was expected to be one of the best matches, the classic matches between the two champions, probably the present generation of 20 plus Grand Slam winners like the Federer and Rafael Nadal and Novak Djokovic, and the next generation of Alcaraz. But unfortunately, I was looking forward to it, but unfortunately it so happened that It's very important to know, the semi-final between Alcaraz and Novak Djokovic. The first two sets were outstanding, and it appeared as if we are in for a classic match. The first set was won by Novak Djokovic 6-3, and the second set, Carlos Alcaraz came back strongly 7-5. So that was leveled one set each when this happened, and Alcaraz was not able to serve, was not able to move, and he was given. Djokovic was given points as per the rules. If you take a medical break in between the set, you will be losing points. So he lost the next two sets 6-1, 6-1 to Novak Djokovic. That is how Novak Djokovic went into the finals, though he himself expressed that it is not the way to win, and he feels sorry for Alcaraz. Alcaraz is supposed to be one of the best on the clay court, but he just couldn't stand. And you know what was the problem? He had cramps all around, all his body, the arms, the legs, everywhere he was getting cramps. And this is also one thing that I get. Okay, I'm not trying to compare myself with these tennis champions, but cramps is something which you just cannot manage if you are in sports. So he was not able to bend his knees or bend his legs, bend his arms, and you cannot play at a the topmost level of tennis with cramps in all your limbs. So, and you know what he reported after the match, in the post match he told, I got cramps because of Novak Djokovic. Yes, it is the overwhelming feeling that I am going to play one of the best players in the world and in the history of tennis. So once you get all such feelings, naturally you are mentally down. So that is what the lesson is for each one of us. Don't get overawed by your opponent. Opponent can be the wall, but you can bring down the wall and win the match. So that is where probably Alcaraz physically couldn't do it, mentally couldn't do it. So he lost out, and it was unfortunate for all the tennis fans all over the world who were trying to follow one of the best matches of the tournament. It was not to be after the first two sets. It was straight, almost like a cakewalk, or what you call as walk over for Novak, and he won 6-1, 6-1. It was not even a semblance of the resistance that Alcaraz could offer, and he was not there in the match. It was very unfortunate. So that is how both Novak Djokovic and Casper Ruud, the seeded number 4, they met in the finals of French Open, and you know what happened. It was a rude shock was waiting for Casper Ruud. He went down, though he gave a bit of semblance of fighting, but he went down in 3 sets, straight sets, 7-5, 6-3, 7-6, something like that. So it is not important, the scores, but Casper Ruud, yes, he can fight, come back. He's just 25 or 26. Definitely a lot of time is there for him. But for Novak Djokovic, what a moment it was, winning the 23rd Grand Slam, which none other in the history of tennis has done. And what a gentleman, what a sportsman, and what a tennis star he is. So all three of them, always the argument goes like this: who's better of the three? Who's the best among the three? Who's the GOAT? That's the greatest of all times in tennis, men's tennis, in the history of tennis. I mean, it's very difficult to tell, very difficult to choose among Federer, the FedEx, and Novak Djokovic, the Joker, and of course Rafa, the Rafael Nadal. But reportedly Nadal has told next year will be his last year. So, and I guess that Novak Djokovic has got some time to go. So he's just 36. He can play for another 2-3 years to my expectation. So hopefully he will improve the tally of his Grand Slams. Now coming to the ladies tennis, ladies French Open tennis, as you all know. It was between Iga Swiatek and unseeded Carolina Muchova. So unseeded player beating the number 2 seed Arina Sabalenka, and then playing the finals. And to tell you frankly, if you have followed it, it was one of the very good fighting match between the two. Iga went on to win the first set comfortably 6-3 or 6-2, and the second set Muchova came back. Carolina Muchova came back and won the set, and of course the third also went into towards, the number 1 seed Iga Swiatek winning her third French Open and the 4th Grand Slam in all. So tennis all the way for the last week. So I thought, let me just discuss important things here. Even if you have got physical problems, your mental stability, your mental strength is more important. That is what Carlos lost out. Alcaraz lost out in the semifinals. That is how Zverev had a problem. But he showed excellent sportsmanship and the fighting spirit till the coming to a semi-final of a Grand Slam, not a joke. So Zverev, you are my champion, though you have problems. I know this type of problems because I myself, I am insulin dependent diabetic. So it's not easy to be in sports. It's not an easy life either, but you have to carry on. So that is the message for each one of us. You may have problems, but you just carry on, and the show must go on, and you have to keep fighting till you can fight. That is the spirit. Zverev, the German Zverev, showed to the whole world, and Alcaraz also had a lesson, and of course it was both Iga and Novak who went on to win their trophies, the Grand Slam trophies. So, ladies and gentlemen, that's all for this week. Take care. May God bless you. Bye bye.